Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm here with CE2Go.net, and today we're going to go over administrative functionality. This tutorial assumes that your organization has already contacted us and we've went ahead and set you up with an account and administrative credentials to log in. If that's not the case, go ahead and just get a hold of us. You can do that by going to CE2Go.net, clicking Learn More, and then just choose one of these options to get a hold of us. Let's go ahead and start. The first thing I do is go to login, and I use my administrative credentials. Obviously today I'm going to be using some test credentials. I'm going to log in, and then in the top right I'm going to go to admin. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to set up questions and how to make those questions available to your user base. So I'm going to click Manage Questions Sets. And since we don't have one yet, let's go ahead and start a new question set. I'm going to call it question set 1, and I'm going to make it available on the 31st of this month, October 27th being today, and I'm going to have it expire on January 1st, and I'm going to start the question set. As you can see, the question set is empty, so we're going to need to create a new question set. The first thing you're going to see at the top is a link to choose an image file. If your question is image-based, this is where you'd upload your image file. Obviously, here's where your question text would be. So if you did have an image, you could have something like, please define, the portion of the image in the bottom right. Something like that, just something that ties your question to your image. For now, we're just going to do a simple question. What is 1 plus 1? I'm going to give a few options to our users, and then I'm going to give them another option. I'm going to click Add Available Answer, and we're going to make 5 an option. Obviously 2 is going to be our correct answer. And you can see there's some categories here. I'm going to choose Mathematics, and then an answer explanation. It's just going to be 1 plus 1 is 2, and we'll save. Alright, now our question set has its first question. We have not finalized our question set yet, so we can continue to add questions and edit questions. Finalizing your question set as it goes over right below basically sends your questions and makes them available to your users. So when you're done setting up your questions for the given set, you'd want to do this so that they would show up for users in the user's website login and also on the user's devices. At this point, I will switch accounts real quick to show you a little bit more of a robust account. So I'm going to log in just as I did before, go to admin and manage question sets. As you can see here, question set A has been released to users. It was available on 7/1/2014 and expires 7/1/2015. Question set B is still being worked on, so I can view questions if I want, and I can continue to edit questions or create new questions if I like. I'm going to go back to question set A, which again has been sent to users. You can see it's been released to users, and I can take a look at those questions if I'm, for whatever reason, I want to review, or I want to say, oh, what is question number 21? I'm trying to remember what that was. So you can view your questions. You can also view some basic question set statistics here. So these are the number of user attempts, basically the number of times one of our users has tried to answer a question, and this is the number of correct attempts, number of incorrect attempts, and then the overall percentage. Down here, you can see we break it down by question, and this can be useful because perhaps you could see, if you see a really high number, 90, 95%, you might think, well, wow, that's a very easy question. Maybe I want to make that more challenging. On the flip side of that, if you got one that was down in like the 10% of attempts correct, you might say, oh, is that question misleading? Is that question too difficult? And things like that. So this just gives you kind of a breakdown. And if you need to view, as a reminder what that question was, you can always click the link here to view that question. Now that we're getting into user responses, I want to jump to the user section, and you can see you can browse your users here. Let's say I wanted to look at this account. Some things you can see is you can see the number of CE credits earned so far by the user, and then you can also see their CE credit submission. So you can see that this account had a submission today, and they earned 6 credits. There were 6 questions answered correctly, and then they also had a submission on the 24th. So basically, you get an aggregate up here, and then you get each time they submit, a certain number of questions for credit. You can see those submissions here. You'll notice there's a simple submission ID that you can use, a unique submission ID that you can use as a reference point if needed. Some other things, another thing you can do regarding users, if you like, you can invite a new user. Basically, if you have a large amount of users, when you're setting up your account, go ahead and let us know, and we can do our best to work with you to get these user accounts onto our system without you going user by user. However, the functionality is here, and I'm going to show you that briefly. So let's go ahead and invite a new user. I'm going to invite John Smith. Just use, and his subscription will be for the 2014-2015 CE question bank. Let's go ahead and invite. All right, we've sent the invite email. And any moment here. All right, CE to Go invite. You have been invited to join CE to Go. Aaron Matthias has sent you an invite to join CE to Go, and basically you have a subscription code, and then you have the URL that you'd go to sign up. So this would be, one of your users is going to receive this email. And let's just go ahead and show you briefly how that works. All right. And just going to confirm for security purposes how the user confirm their email, name, and then obviously the user needs to pick out a password, and go ahead and enter that subscription code from the email, and we'll sign up. All right, success, and a confirmation email has been sent to the user's email account. And we'll grab that. Here we go. All right, John Smith has been confirmed, 2014-2015 CE question bank. And just to show you, in another tutorial we'll go over some of the user features, but just to briefly show you, as you can see, the user has access to that question set A, and then obviously day to day they're receiving 4 questions a day. The last thing I want to show you, the last administrative function that I want to show you is going to be settings. So settings are just a few simple options that you get to pick, and it defines some of the ways that users answer questions. So one thing is allow users to submit incorrect questions. So if you like, you basically set up your account to where you're just looking for user feedback. So a user would theoretically be able to submit an incorrect question for credit. Generally, we recommend that you keep that as a no. You probably want users to have the correct answer when they submit for credit, but again, we do leave that open for you. Another one is users can answer questions repeatedly until correct. So this basically just says if a user answers a question on their mobile phone and they get it incorrect, they still have the option to answer and re-answer until they do get it correct. This here defines this, the third one is number of correct questions for 1 CE credit. So that's, just basically what it says. This number could be 5, it could be 2. I'm just going to leave it at 1. The fourth option is minimum number of questions required for a CE submission. So I just have it as 1. Basically, as the users like, they can submit their answered questions for credit. If you like, you can increase this to 5 or 10, so they'd have to submit larger group of questions. That's basically your prerogative. And then the fifth option is a administrative email where every time a user submits any questions for CE credit, you'd get a copy of that sent to your email. And this is not required, so if you didn't want to use it, you could just basically get rid of this text right here and then click save. So that basically covers administrative functions of CE2Go.net. Again, I just want to invite you to visit our contact page, contact us if needed. If you have any questions, contact us at hello@ce2go.net. And